Hey guys, hope everyone out there is doing well. It is a lovely morning here in El Paso. It is July 25th. And as many of you know who keep up with this channel or subscribe, I haven't really done a lot of videos at all over the past year or so. Just been really busy. And because this channel was at least started primarily as a channel about the Philippines, the further away I get from the Philippines in terms of when I used to live there, uh, the less I feel like I have to say about that. But I did want to talk for just a few minutes today because I was looking on my Facebook timeline and I realized that it has now been 6 years since my wife and I moved here to the U.S. And the time has gone by quickly. If you were to notice the opening shot for this video, the picture that I used of us arriving in the airport, one of my nephews in that picture is now taller than I am, the older one. So it's been a while, and time really has flown by. And as I look back on these 6 years, I just think about how blessed we have been. We've gone through the complete immigration process, and my wife became a U.S. citizen. Then our beautiful boy was born, and so we really feel like we're blessed to be at this point where we are right now in life. Do I ever miss the Philippines? Yeah, I do, and I think maybe I've shared this before. But, I mentioned that July 25th is our 6-year anniversary here. July is a significant month for me always because it was July 11th, 2002 when I first moved to the Philippines. So 2002 to 2013, that's 11 years that I lived there. And when you live someplace for so long, it does change you, and I've shared about this in other videos. Culturally and just the way you think, it definitely changes you. So I feel like even though it's been 6 years since I've lived in the Philippines, those 11 years that I spent there, it did something to me. And what it did was I would describe as good, the change in perspective and all that good stuff. So I still miss the Philippines, but in fact, sometimes when I watch the other channels out there, like sometimes I'll watch especially the Philly in the Philippines. He lives in Angeles City, which that's where I lived my last year or so there. It almost makes me, I'm tempted to get sometimes envious because I think, man, it would be neat to be back there. But at the same time, I really believe, and I think, as many of you know, I'm a pastor, I'm a Christian. I think God wants us to be content wherever it is we are. And I think wherever you live, if you're not content on the inside, then wherever you live really doesn't matter. Because, some of you may not read the Bible, but in the book of Philippians, Paul talks about being content in whatever the circumstance. And that guy was in prison when he wrote that. And so I do think contentment is not necessarily about where you're living. It has to do with something that's, going on the inside. But speaking on a more shallow note, I think about our lives here, and I have to say I do enjoy the conveniences of living in the United States. After living in the Philippines for so long, and then we moved back here, and things had changed so much since over those 11 years. And coming here and now being like a member on Amazon Prime and just about anything you want to buy, it arrives at your doorstep in 2 or 3 days. And I think the Philippines will catch up with some of that. But it's different here, but we're used to it, and I've kind of just learned to enjoy enjoy life here. And so I also think I talked about contentment. I do think it's very important to always be looking forward. That's something that God's been teaching me over the past month or two. It seems to be a lesson He's kind of putting in my heart, is that we should always look forward. And if you look too much to the past, that can kind of hinder you from reaching what's next. So, those are some of my thoughts. And let's see. I will thought about trying to see if I could get Big Boy to come in here, but I think he's in another room right now playing. But yeah, he's growing like a weed. He's healthy, and we are happy and blessed. And that's really all I have to say as far as updates go right now.